Veterans, although neither of us still wear the uniform, we both took a lifelong oath to protect our God-given rights as well as our country and our family against both foreign and domestic enemies. And although we both already did our part to protect our country when we were younger, today we're needed again to fulfill this obligation. My name's Randy Beardsley. I'm a veteran like you, having served our country in the Army. I have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a master's degree in business. And I spent the last 35 years working hard to support my family. I'm no politician. I've held real jobs with real responsibilities my whole life. I understand how things work and what it takes to be successful. And I recognized several years back that our country wasn't working right anymore. It was broken. And although I'm just a regular working American like you, I couldn't be silent anymore. And I began to speak out on behalf of all our futures. And the people responsible for setting our country on this path of failure, they're the same people who successfully deceived us when we were younger and less wise into believing that patriotism was sacrificing our life with their endless war for profit schemes. And even though we're older and wiser now, they think they can deceive us again. They think they can fool us to go along with their failed policies, and they think they can convince us that anyone who does the right thing and fulfills his oath to defend his family and our country, that those people are domestic terrorists. But just like the last time, they're wrong. Because defending our country from these people and their failed vision, that isn't the work of domestic terrorists. Rather, it's how you fulfill your oath. But as we know, misinformation and diversions are often used to mislead an enemy and keep them focusing on the wrong things. And every day, the media and our government use these tactics against us to divert our attention away from the real threats that our country faces. This has been done so well that many people, even some veterans, they fail to recognize the disastrous path that they've set our country on. They failed to notice because they made a crucial mistake. They relied on the media, a group without allegiance to their future, as their source of information. This is a great mistake because the media only praises people and promotes policies that are bad for your future. And they only demonize people and discredit policies that are good for your future. They love to tell you every day that we're winning. This isn't winning. I competed a lot in my day. This is losing. Losing is selling off 6 million of our manufacturing jobs over the last 30 years to the highest foreign bidder that makes it hard for our veterans to find work after serving. And this loss of jobs has created an almost $1 trillion trade deficit that jeopardizes our independence and makes us beholden to foreign countries for life's basic needs. They love to promote the welfare policies and spend over $1 trillion a year to mask the failure in our country, while they neglect the suffering and needs of our veterans. They want to convince you that it's a good plan to defend the borders of every other country in the world except our own, and to reward illegal aliens, or asylum seekers as they like to call them now, with better benefits that are going to provide us men and women and their families who served our country. But they can't wait to sell us on more endless war for profit schemes that have cost us the lives of over 1 million of our military brothers and sisters, maimed millions more. And they want you to believe that the reckless spending needed to hide the failure of all these policies is normal, even though it's bankrupting us and it's saddled us with a $34 trillion mountain of debt. This isn't winning. This is losing. And everything these people touch turns into a loss for us. These people have even found a way to lose time and time again using the best fighting forces in the world. Now, I got tired of losing. I got tired of being in last place and tired of being fooled by the illusion that we have a choice to do something about it, while the same two political parties produce the same failed results regardless of who's in office. And I hope you got tired of it too. Because there is a better way that allows us to not only fulfill our oath to the Constitution, but also to fulfill our obligation to our families. And that better way is the Beardsley Doctrine. My doctrine brings the curtain down on one of their best tricks. And that trick has been to fool so many Americans, veterans included, to think that we can't do anything to fix these problems. but we can fix these problems. But think about this. We have 18 million highly trained soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines that are veterans. You tell me, is there anything that we couldn't accomplish if we got all 18 million of our fellow veterans focused on that goal? I assure you, there isn't any problem in this country we couldn't fix. No goal we couldn't accomplish. All we need is a plan, and the Beardsley Doctrine is that battle plan. It allows you to complete your mission by putting your family and our country first. The doctrine itself, it outlines what needs done by identifying 20 key beliefs and policies that must be implemented to save our country. And several of these articles address our military and our veterans because they're so important to our future. Take a look at it. I think you'll agree. This is the right strategy moving forward. The American Death March series and the 50 Years of Failure series will give you a better understanding of how these dangerous policies were slowly implemented and how our futures were undermined one little tiny step at a time while we were busy serving our country and taking care of our family. And after watching these, you'll understand why doing nothing is no longer an option. And the press plan provides a strategy to solve these problems by showing you the specific actions that we can all do. All these crucial components in the doctrine, they work together to put our family and our country first. And the best part, your participation doesn't require you to quit your job right in the streets. If you're not at my website, beardsley.doctrine.com, go there now and take a look at the components of the doctrine. See how you can use them starting today to make a difference. Stay up to date on the battle plan to save our country by following me on X. And pass this on to fellow veterans so we can muster the 18 million strong force that we need to create the future that our family and our country deserve. But as common sense as my approach is, implementing the policies of the doctrine won't be easy, because our enemies have amassed so much wealth from our country and from other countries from their war for profit schemes that they've been able to buy up all our politicians, all our media, and to raise an army of enforcers to make sure you continue on this death march. And they want to enlist you as one of their enforcers, because enforcers are people who support these failed policies or use their position and power to trick or coerce other Americans to support them. But my doctrine provides you with the weapons that you need to stop this enforcement. If you let the media trick you or someone you know into supporting these destructive policies, or you supported a company or organization that supports them, you were both acting as enforcers. But when you know the truth, you and your friends, you won't want to be an enforcer anymore. And the press plan will help you stop being an enforcer by guiding you through all the ways where you may be acting as one and you didn't even know it. But some veterans have made a conscious choice to become an enforcer. Sad but true. But some have intentionally failed to fulfill their oath and have made a deal with the devil. Like Judas, they agreed to trade our future for a bag of gold. And I think it's pretty clear that more of a couple of our fellow veterans have made that deal and made their way into Congress. But if you also made a deal with the devil, or you know someone who has, the doctrine and especially the American Death March series will help you reconsider this deal. Judas didn't realize this until it was too late, but it's not too late for you to reconsider. But since they haven't been able to fool a lot of us veterans, or to get most of us to make a deal with the devil to betray our oath, they've resorted to trying to coerce us into being an enforcer by making it a requirement to have a job. Often to have a job, your only options are to work for a company that supports these failed policies or belong to a union that supports them. In a perfect world, you just go get another job. But it isn't always that easy. So if you or someone you know is in this position at work because you have to feed your family, don't worry, because you can still do your part. You may have to toe the line at work, but the rest of the time you can implement the press plan, and those actions will help you work towards independence till the time comes where you can fully cast off the role of an enforcer. Now friends, we're warriors. And although a day may come when we're too old and too weak to fight anymore, a day when we have to hang up our combat boots once and for all, that day isn't today. Because today, we put our boots back on. and we fight together for a better future for our family and our country.